Hey guys, welcome to Crown Chat. We have with us today Damien Berwick.
Hello.
And Timmy Montgomery. How you going?
G'day boys, how you doing?
Good, thank
Pleasure
you.
to be here.
Good, thanks.
Thank you very much. Tim, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from, work-wise, etc.?
Where do you want me to start? So
you own Rascals?
that's right.
Did you say Rascals or Rascals?
I say Rascal.
Rascals.
Prior to that, I was a fine dining chef, I guess,
Yep.
for most of my career. Started out in Adelaide. Was an Adelaide boy.
So you grew up in Adelaide?
Yeah, I was from England. I came out when I was about
So
7.
you're from England?
Yeah, well, I'd call myself Australian. I came out when I was 6. I don't sound English. I don't feel English.
Yeah.
What language do you speak, Tim?
I speak Australian English.
Right? Like Tim Zoo.
Yeah.
Like Tim Zoo, exactly.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Yeah. Came out to Adelaide when I was 6 or 7. Did all my schooling there, did all my training there, and then moved to. Once I started cooking, I went to university for a while and whatever, and started cooking. Moved to Sydney. Worked at a couple of fine dining restaurants over there, a couple of Hatted restaurants. Went over to Europe, Switzerland, London, and then from Switzerland actually moved to Newcastle because my wife got a internship at the John Hunter as a doctor.
Yeah, right.
So I said,
So that's what brought you to Newey.
yeah, we're going to stay.
Not all of our amazing restaurants.
We were going to stay for 2 years, and that was 11 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Well
So you're
done.
Novocastrian now?
Man, I think finally, after 10 years, you get accepted as a proper Novocastrian.
I've been here 20, so I consider myself one now.
Where are you from
Still
originally?
go for the Cowboys.
Am I allowed to ask you guys questions?
Yeah, definitely. Most people watch it to hear more about us anyway.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just the vehicle for information for you guys.
we can't just talk about ourselves. So yeah, I grew up in Mackay, then Bathurst, then Newcastle.
Yeah, cool. Right on.
And so yeah, 20 years now.
Yeah.
And Bez is from Shortland.
Yeah, sweet.
Shorty.
I got to say, I love it. Like, I've lived all over the place, as you know, my brief synopsis would lead you to believe. But Newcastle's home. Like, it's really cool. We love it here.
Nice.
My wife's actually from Johannesburg in South Africa.
Oh, wow.
She's neither of us are from here, but we love it.
That's crazy.
Cool. What's your address now?
That's a little bit creepy.
We'll dive into
Now,
a little bit deeper with Tim soon, but you got to...
Yeah, so because you're a chef, I wanted to ask you, what is the only company in the Dow Jones Industrial Average that is one of its original stocks from 1896?
From 1896,
Yeah.
Coca-Cola.
No. No, it's not.
I should have. I remember I saw you do a couple of these questions to the other people that have been on the show. I should have prepared myself.
Oh, that's okay.
That's all right.
I just figured you'd know.
Yeah, my business partner's the financial brain of the operation. I'm just more of
Right, so he'd probably
Oh,
know.
yeah, we'll probably get... Do you want to get Ty on then?
yeah. Just give. Can I
Yeah,
phone
maybe
a
we'll
friend?
get
I'll call Ty. Get Ty on the phone.
we've
He should be
asked
able
Ty.
to.
I think I still know the number from the Prince.
So I keep saying
496 something.
I think we probably changed it since those days.
Yeah, so
Changed everything
Since the
once
battle
he left.
Yeah,
Not
once
just
I
the
left-
locks,
once I
changed
left
the phone
twice.
number and everything.
changed pretty much everything about the place. Actually, we didn't mention that before, apart from Rascal. Yeah, the Prince of Wales,
Yeah,
Prince of
so
Merida.
yeah.
Anyway, the answer is...
Oh, well, do you know the answer?
Yeah, I'm a chef as well, and I know the answer.
I figured.
Yeah. And I haven't been all over the world, haven't cooked all over the world, but I grew up in Shortland, and the answer is General Electric.
Okay, so that started there in 1896 and it's
Yeah, right.
still there today.
Still there today.
That's great to
Wow.
know. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Some chef trivia for you.
There you go.
So
Yeah,
what
that's
made you get into cooking?
I don't know. It's a funny story. Like, I've only ever been really interested in cooking in a funny sort of way. Like, I went to school as everyone does, and because I came out to Australia when I was about 7, the school year starts at a different time there, and I was like, my birthday's in December, so I was like, I got into university when I just turned 17.
Oh, true.
I turned 17 in December. Started living in the Hall of Residence at uni in Adelaide at about, just turned 17 in the January, February. So yeah, I had no chance of actually finishing my degree. I don't think.
What were you studying?
Visual arts and English literature.
Oh, wow.
So I wanted to be. So this is where I'm sort of getting to. Like, I wanted to be an artist, and then I went to art school and realised that there were people that were infinitely more talented than me. I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to be a writer. All the people in the English course that I was doing, they were all infinitely more talented than me. So, I tried my hand at boxing and kickboxing. Heaps of people were more talented than me.
Yeah, right.
I got my ass handed to me a couple of times. So
You have to, don't you, though, in that
do.
sport to learn anything?
actually, you do. It actually teaches you a lot about yourself. But so then, yeah, cooking. And cooking was really the only thing I did that I was really, really super passionate about. All my memories of like childhood and travel and all that kind of stuff from being a kid of all, centered around food, which is probably why I never made it as a boxer.
You got a heavy one. They get to eat what they want.
But no, it's so once I did that, I sort of really got the bug, and everything else went out the window. Started working in a fine dining restaurant in Adelaide. Worked my way up the ranks, and just really got the bug and wanted to be a food writer, and I wanted to become work in the cooking industry and become a food writer, and then that was it. I just wanted to become a chef.
It's definitely an art form, huh? Cooking. Like everyone's
it's
got
a
their own
craft.
style.
I think some chefs can do it and make it art. I think there's a very small percentage of people that can successfully do that, and like they're sort of the top 2% in the world, maybe.
Sorry. Well, I'll take that back. So when I say art form, I meant like you've got your own style, yeah?
Yeah. I'd say so.
You could look at your food and say, or someone else could look at your food and go, "That's your food."
Yeah, I'd say it's not, like, a lot of the guys that I've worked with in the past, or that have come up and trained at restaurants that we've been at. They say that I have this thing of trying to make everything look natural, like going to a lot of trouble to make everything look natural. So I guess that's a style.
Yeah.
But like you just pull from all your different influences and all your life experience and all that kind of thing, and what you enjoy. And I suppose it makes its way onto the plate.
Yeah, for sure.
What's your favourite dish that you serve at the Prince? What's the one you're most proud of, and if your best friend come in, you'd recommend it to them?
Well, that's a bit of a controversial question because of COVID, we've sort of put together a menu that's very like a pub menu.
Yep.
And we're in the process of sort of reopening with a proper menu at the moment. But we've got a kingfish dish on at the moment, which I really like. Fresh kingfish ceviche with like lots of grapefruit and like heaps of like herbs and just really
That's
fresh,
been on there a little
fresh
while,
and clean.
hasn't it?
It's been on there for probably a couple of months now.
Yeah, I was there and I nearly got that, but I got the sausage instead about 2 months ago.
Very similar.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
similar.
you sent me a message about the bangers and mash, didn't you? Something about there was only one big sausage or something.
It was just giving you a bit of shit. It only came with
You
one
didn't get
sausage,
value for money.
with one banger. And so did you drop the other one on the way?
It was a sizable single.
It's a good banger. Yeah, it's good.
That's from Mick Robinson out at Branxton Meats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Hunger for Meat Co.
It was a good sausage.
Yeah, well, I'm glad.
Yeah. So Tim, so you got? Is there 2 Rascals now?
Yeah, we got one in the CBD and we opened one at Charlestown just before everything went
for
to
those
shit.
that don't know too, Rascals is a burger joint if you're not from Newcastle.
So I meant to actually thank you guys for all the plugs I've been getting on this show with the Rascal stuff. Had we been open tonight, I would have brought you in a bag of burgers.
With Mark Hunt.
Yeah, Mark and Richo were banging on about about Rascal.
Yeah, he said it's his favourite feed in Newey.
Yeah, good. It's good. He's been in the Prince a few times as well, actually.
Oh, really?
But yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that I've got a food place as well, but I don't get any plugs.
When we get, that's
why I got you on for some pointers, mate. So.
My staff actually didn't let him in the other night because we're at capacity.
Oh, seriously?
And I woke up to all these missed calls. And I said, you know how fucking hard it was to tell Mark Hunt he couldn't come in the pub at midnight on a Saturday?
Oh, no.
I said, yeah. Oh, well, sorry. No, that is what it is when you're at capacity.
I think it would have been harder to get him out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so are you the exec?
Kind of. I kind of just sort of, because I'm involved with all 3 venues, I work in all 3 of them. I have a lot of input into the menu and all that kind of stuff, and menu writing. I'm sort of the creative side to Rascal, so all the burgers of the week and all that kind of thing. Generally, I try and
with those?
Well, I try and pillage, inspiration from other people as well. When I can, like everyone I talk to these days, because we've been open 3.5 years. It's a burger every week since then.
That long.
So
Time flies.
I'll hit you guys up for any burgers of the week ideas you've got, because after a while
I've been thinking of doing this one at the Crown, called like the rib wedge.
I've still got PTSD from the
That terrorised you, didn't it?
Jesus, man. We had
How many
lineups
times
out
did you
the
sell
door.
out when you were doing the rib wedge?
We sold out, I think, on 4 separate occasions in the first week
It's
we did
insane,
it.
isn't it?
And we didn't have it on for two whole days, so trying to stockpile. I'd go to Mason in the middle of the night with all trays and trays of beef ribs and cook them overnight. We just didn't have space to generate enough.
Yeah.
We didn't have Charlestown then either.
Ribs are popular,
So
aren't they?
it just went. I think it was this perfect storm of culturally, like The Simpsons have this thing, like it's multi-generational. Like everyone has grown up with The Simpsons for the past
31 years.
Yeah, exactly right. So that plus ribs, plus Rascal, we got a good following on social media in Newcastle as well. So generally, if we can put something out on socials, it gets a really good response, and that thing just went wild.
Yeah.
We weren't ready for it.
Yeah.
But it was really good. It was a very hard week.
Yeah.
But
have you done it twice now?
Yeah, we did it again. The second time was a bit more controlled, which was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't like manic like the first time. The first time, I think it was our most popular burger of the week by about 600 serves in a week. It was nuts. It was crazy.
How much money did you make that week?
I'm not at liberty to disclose that information.
And do you have it at your address?
Yeah, your address.
Yeah,
We've actually got a mate who's eaten every single burger special.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who?
Paddy
who?
Paddy Marks.
Oh, really? He does the burger of the week every week.
There's a couple of people I've heard of that have like legitimately done every week, rain, hail or shine. They've come in and had the burger of the week. And
he's a police officer as well, so I don't know if that goes. That's donuts, isn't it? Goes hand in hand.
I don't know, mate.
But yeah. So
that's good. Thank him for me. That's awesome.
Yeah, we should.
You could probably thank him yourself.
Yeah, he'll be watching.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he also never misses an episode of Crown Chat.
Yeah.
I think he watches it while he's eating his
Paddy?
burger of the week.
Paddy, which works with a burger patty. Yeah. Maybe you could do a patty of the week.
The Paddy.
Donut
he is the Paddy of the week. Thank you,
yeah.
Paddy. I really appreciate it.
There you go.
Yeah, right. I was going to ask you before, but we got off track. Who was your favourite artist that inspired you to want to become and do that?
What, in art?
Yeah, were you into that grunt as a young'un?
Yeah.
When you decided?
Yeah, look, I was into all facets of art when I was young. Like
Painting or?
Painting, drawing, mainly drawing. I did a little bit of painting, a little bit of graffiti, a little bit of that kind of thing. But my favourite artist is an English guy called Francis Bacon, who's got some pretty out there, twisted sort of Hieronymus Bosch style artworks.
Sure.
Which it's kind of really, really cool. I managed to go to the Tate Modern in London and actually see some of his works a few years ago, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, we went to a museum in London.
When did we go to
I don't know, it was near Buckingham Palace.
Was it wax? No, it wasn't the wax one. It was
Madame Tussauds.
No, it wasn't.
That was
on the
been-
Gold Coast. Yeah. No. Madame Tussauds on the Gold Coast. But yeah.
I don't know. I remember I touched a picture and got in trouble. That's all I remember from it, but yeah, they're pretty strict.
Sure, it wasn't a strip club.
No, we went to a few of them. Yes, you did. Yeah. Funny story about them, but we'll leave that for another day.
Yeah. Hey, Tim, what's the best burger you've ever eaten?
Wow. The best burger I've probably ever eaten, it was in New York actually, and like the best two burgers. One of them was like just a street diner, like proper little diner burger, and the other one was at a Michelin star chef called Daniel Balud over there. He's got Restaurant Daniel and a few other things. He's got a bistro where he serves this burger, which is like, super premium Wagyu beef minced with a piece of foie gras inside it.
What?
Foie gras, like fattened goose liver.
Yeah, right.
Truffles, brioche bun, the whole thing. It's like a $150 burger. And my wife and I had that when we were in New York one time. That was probably the most over-the-top indulgent burger that I've ever had.
Sorry, did you say it was $150?
Yeah, something like that.
Wow.
That's all right.
Have you thought of doing that at Rascals and seeing if
No, I don't want to go broke.
all these businessmen rock up, sort of like a dick measuring contest?
Yeah, we could do it as an event, maybe at the Prince or something. But I think Rascal, we just geared up for like retail burger sort of vibe. Like people don't really come in and dine and hang out.
If you guys close down tomorrow, God forbid, where would you recommend people? Where would you go for a burger? Who's the second best in Newey?
Oh, you can't do that, can you?
Yeah, definitely. Who's the second best? Whether it's a pub, a burger place, whatever. And you can't say the Prince either.
Burger Fiend in Cessnock. They do.
I've been there.
They do really, really good food, but Newey fried chicken. Those guys are smashing it.
Did you see them on the news?
Yeah, I did actually.
That's pretty
see them
funny,
on the news.
because that's gotten me before.
Yeah,
the sneaky fuckers at the servo.
Yeah, I saw it, and I was gonna send Nick a message and say, hey, like, is that you guys? Like, because I was like wanting some chicken, and then I ended up ended up getting their online thing up and delivering and all that kind of stuff. So
it's a little bit heartbreaking because I get on like 11 p.m. Uber Eats or Menulog or whatever, and you think, fuck, Newey Fried Chicken's still open.
Yeah.
This is awesome. And then you go and you're like, hold on.
Yeah.
And it's the service station one.
They even stole their brand.
Yeah, they stole their whole logo basically.
Yeah, no, that was pretty bad. But those guys are like, they put a lot of, I think, from what I can see, they put a lot of R&D into their product, and It's really, really good.
Yeah, I love it. I get it a fair bit.
Yeah, maybe try Little Castro. That's good too.
Little
Yeah,
Castro.
Little Castro is really good. But
I actually haven't been since it was Lowlands. Like Tony Harrison used to do a fair few burgers out of there as well.
yeah, that's
Pretty
right.
good.
Yeah, Big Tones.
Yeah, he had a good reputation for his burgers.
Have you tried have you been to Honest Burger in London? Tried Honest Burger?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, that's the best burger I've ever had. That was so good that when I come back, we tried to do a burger place.
In-N-Out Burger in Cali is also up there.
Yeah, I haven't been to In-N-Out before.
We drove, my wife and I drove from San Francisco all the way up through Vegas up into Nevada, Arizona. See some friends of ours in Arizona. Took about 5 weeks and I just ate burgers pretty much the whole time. We went to like a couple of different Michelin star restaurants and whatever. But most of the time
It's
it was
crazy,
just
the food in the
diner
States,
food,
isn't it?
Yeah.
And the free refills.
Yeah,
Halfway
it's
through your
hectic.
soft drink, they fill you back up.
Yeah, it's hectic. But I was very surprised. I didn't really want to go to the States out of all the places, to travel. Yeah. And I've been back a couple of times since because I really did enjoy it.
Yeah, I love it. It's one of my favourite places to go. I love it. Just the food and the restaurants. And yeah, it's amazing.
And just taking the car, like hiring a car and just driving and seeing the country. Yeah. Going to Vegas, going to UFC and going up to Arizona and.
You did Arizona?
Yeah, all the wine region as well, and like just outside of San Francisco.
How long did you stay there? 5 weeks?
Yeah, it was 5 weeks we drove. Wow. It was really cool. So some people we went to university with, some really close friends of ours live in Arizona. So we've been back there a couple of times. Yeah. Flagstaff. It's really cool town. Yeah,
nice. Have you seen the Netflix show Hannibal?
I have.
I've been watching that recently, and that's
I've seen some of it.
Yeah, it's so much of it is around cooking.
Cooking, yeah.
Mind you, he's cooking humans, but
his technique.
I was surprised. I was surprised how much of a centerpiece it is of the show.
I think the original Hannibal Lecter stuff, like that quote, "I eat his liver with fava beans and a fine Chianti," or whatever it is. Like a lot of the cooking references, like you see, he's got Larousse Gastronomique, which is like a bit of the Bible of sort of French classical cooking, and he takes things from it. Like he cooks riz de veau, which is like sweetbreads, and tries to harvest human sweetbreads, and like it's
because in the movies they don't touch on it as much, obviously, but in the TV show, cooking's he's just cooking all the time. I was watching it before I come here.
Does he only cook humans?
No, he throws in other stuff as well.
I think he cooks other things as well, but I think he probably really enjoys the.
It's very gruesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to look away a few times just watching it tonight.
I think I need to revisit it. I think I've watched
Would you do a human burger?
This is going to sound grotesque, but I've often wondered. I used to make like blood pudding, like black sausage. Yeah. A lot. I was working at a restaurant in Sydney years ago, and we used to make it ourselves. And as a young chef, you'd come in hungover and be stirring this massive pot of blood.
What do you mean, young chef? You can.
This was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I was a like commie chef de party at the place called Bathers Pavilion, which used to have 2 hats. Back in the day, and working like crazy, work hard, play hard, that whole thing. Back when the industry was pretty brutal, and just come in certain days. It's your day to make blood pudding, and you'd have 15 liters of blood that you had to gently congeal. You add all the flavorings and that kind of stuff. It turned out absolutely beautiful, but I haven't made it for a little while. But I often wondered whether you could get on a drip, withdraw some blood, and make your own
human blood.
Maybe just throw like a calf or something.
I wouldn't make it from someone else's. I'd use my own.
Use your own.
It's one of those things that cross your mind when you're working. When you're working an 80, 90 plus hour week, and you muse things in your mind, and you come up with this.
Then you wouldn't have to leave the house if you were cooking your own blood, would you? Like you'd just
have to wait for it to regenerate.
I think eventually you sort of cannibalize yourself, I guess. But that's a bit of a tangent.
Is cannibalism illegal?
Yes.
Yes.
But if
something with murder.
If you're eating yourself.
Unless you press charges on yourself, you'd probably get away with it.
I don't think we're doing either of our businesses any good right now.
Yeah, so if you ever get something from Little Castro's at Lowlands and you don't know what it is, and we might have just opened it up.
Ty's watching you just like.
Yeah, just going, what are you talking about?
Yeah, the prince hasn't gone public, hasn't it? Not.
What do you mean, public?
Yeah, like it's not on the ASX?
No.
No. So you don't have to worry about share prices and stuff like
No,
that.
you don't have to
You
worry
can
about
cook- yeah.
I could be doing a fair bit of brand damage talking about making.
Yeah,
my
it's
own
just
blood
your own
and stuff like that.
fortunes. Yeah, you got to worry about. Yeah. How do you think the culture has changed? We were talking earlier about other things. Chefing, especially, it's got a reputation to be pretty pretty rough back there.
It's changed. It's changed
Like,
massively.
how long have you been? 30, 20,
23 years.
23 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, so how have you seen it change over that?
Look, I think it's changed a lot for the better.
Yeah, so
A
positive.
lot of like old heads and old chefs and that kind of thing like sit there and go, oh, the good old days when we worked 80 hours a week and threw pots and pans and yelled and screamed and people were leaving in tears. And I was working at the restaurant I mentioned before, and you'd come back, every service was brutal, and you'd sort of you'd be yelling and screaming, and I swear like they just employed psychopaths. And it's the bottom of Awaba Street, I think it is, in Balmoral Beach in Sydney. And so it's this big steep hill that goes right down to the beach, and like you literally, like you'd be finishing your break and you'd be seeing someone like with their knives and the chef uniform just trotting up the hill, like just that's it, not coming back. And then you're like, shit, I've got to do the section myself for dinner. And people were just broken all the time.
Yeah.
And you can't advocate that, like running kitchens and running, and being a business owner now and all that kind of thing. It's not a positive culture. It's not a culture that you want in your venue. Like it's not.
And the customers, I've noticed, pick up on it very quickly when it's an unhappy environment.
Absolutely. And like, everyone says, oh, kids these days are too soft and that kind of thing. Like, I wouldn't want to, I really wouldn't want to engineer that working environment for anyone, for myself included.
So you've got kids. Would you, if it was the same as it was when you first started, would you let them explore that industry?
I probably wouldn't even now.
Yeah, you still wouldn't.
Like, thank God my daughter got my wife's brains. But I think no, like it was brutalizing, and I think there was this culture, very culture of bastardization, and you had to earn your stripes, and it was really brutal, and I think some people flourish under those conditions. I think in the military it's probably the same.
Yeah.
But other people just fall to pieces.
Yeah,
I wonder how many people just fell out of love with cooking because of that.
Would you have been as good as chef as you are now, or as successful as you are now, if you didn't come through those, the tough times?
I don't know. I don't know. Like like I said before, I went to university for I did a 3-year degree in 5 years, 4.5 years. So I was a bit older. So I started cooking when I'm 42. Started cooking when I was 20, 21.
Yep.
So, yeah, look, I think there's multiple things in anyone's life that can make them who they are when they're older, without being philosophical about it. Yep. So, you do go through, hard times, catharsis, all that kind of thing, where you go, okay, I'm much better than I was before. Through going through those hardships, it was horrible at the time. But I think, had I worked in, I've worked in environments where the chef or the person in charge that's been training me as a young chef has been gentle, firm but fair, and you learn out of respect and out of love for the job rather than fear and, wanting to be, I think look, the short answer is I don't think it did me any harm.
Yeah.
But I think it's largely unnecessary. And, so much so that, when I first was a head chef in Adelaide, I left Sydney and moved home for family reasons, and was running a restaurant there. I was my 28 years old, first head chef job, and I did the same thing. And I remember saying, like, to my partner at the time, I was like, I've just been abusing people all day. Like, it's horrible. I feel horrible about myself. I feel like it's just an awful way to behave. And I think after that, I think there was definitely a cultural shift in kitchens after that, and like I wouldn't dream of having a venue like if we hire someone who comes into one of the venues and has that attitude, they don't tend to last because you just can't have that.
It's so funny you say that too, because when I first started cooking, a dude who was above me, he was really angry at everyone.
Yeah.
And so I started being angry at everyone, where I'm not usually an angry person. Like I'd ring downstairs and I'd be, when there'd be a complaint or something, I'd ring up and I'd be like really, really angry about it.
Yeah, you were actually, yes.
And he must have said something to my head, to Tom, and who come in and just said, look, just because he's doing it this way doesn't mean you have to do it this way. It's not the right way to do it.
It does sound like something I'd say. I'm quite
very,
wise.
very learned man. Yeah. And then that just stuck you straight out of it. I'm like, fuck.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
And it's just not a nice way to behave. And you know the old adage, you can catch more flies with honey. I think does ring true. Like if you have a good rapport with the people you're working with, and you know they respect you and the venue and their craft, then they should, you know, you shouldn't need to lose your temper. I mean, look, everyone has a frayed temper every now and then. Someone will take the piss every now and then, but on the whole, like you don't need to behave like that.
No. Have you ever thrown a burger at anyone?
Only out of love.
I love burger.
I've never thrown a burger. I don't think I've thrown anything in the kitchen actually.
No.
I threw a punch once, but I didn't throw a burger.
Punch is all right.
No, the guy had it coming. No, that was many years ago. It's a convoluted story. It was just a warning shot. But
Very cool. Lucky for him.
Wait for the next one.
I didn't stay in that job very long after that.
Why not?
He was the sous chef and I was just the casual chef. I knew I was moving on.
Punches at him.
I just left Sydney and I was waiting for this other head chef position to open up, and I was working in this very busy place in Adelaide, and the gentleman just overstepped the boundaries in the cold room one day and digging the guts. So yeah, I don't know.
Fair enough.
Anyway, these things used to happen in kitchens, you know, like
Yeah.
a couple of restaurants in Sydney where the pastry chef would be knocked out during service and people would be stepping over him to get plates and things, and just
Wow.
like hectic things.
Business as usual.
Yeah, you know the
Put a little A-frame sign over the top of his head.
Like, you know, you work an 18-hour day. I'm not advocating this, so it's not particularly funny, but you know, you work an 18-hour day and then you know,
tensions are high.
You'd be encouraged to go out drinking with all your crew afterwards. You'd end up getting 2 hours sleep and going back in, and like, you know, a couple of days on the trot of that, tempers do get very frayed.
Yeah, I can imagine. And it's stinking hot and you're covered in grease
it's not
and
professional.
shit.
Like, I think that's been a really, really good cultural shift actually these days. I think people in kitchens, instead of acting like a crew of pirates, actually now act a lot more professional.
Yeah.
They approach the craft a lot more professionally and take care in what they're doing. The younger guys, you know, whether it's, you know, a lot of people poo-poo the master chef culture and all that kind of thing as well. Like every kid wants to be a celebrity chef rock star now. But
yeah, well, they've made it cool, haven't they?
Well, and there's a plus side to that. People do actually take it seriously. They don't want to wash dishes and they don't want to peel potatoes, but they do take the craft seriously, which is a good thing.
And is it just me, or is there a lot better money in it these days than what it used to be, or was it always really good?
No.
Oh, maybe since that
I'm talking for really good. I'm not talking entry level or even, you know, 12. But when you're one of the good chefs,
the most I think the contradictory thing is everyone thinks that, you know, fine dining restaurants, you know, you might charge $40, $50, $60 for a main course, whatever. You know, it's so exorbitant and so expensive, but the amount of labour that's gone into it, the quality of the produce, like the margins are so much less than if you were selling a schnitzel in a pub or making a burger.
good margin on snitties.
Yeah.
Pizzas I've heard as well.
Pizzas and snitties are key.
Awesome. Pizza snitty. That's very Newcastle thing.
Snitties,
so it's just, it's one of those things like you have to devote so much of your time, so much of your life, and so much of your attention to, you know, doing that chef's hat, fine dining stuff. That, you know, I think I was so driven for so many years, trying to get 2 hats and all this kind of thing, and trying to make a name for myself. And as soon as I had a child, my priorities completely changed.
Yeah, right.
I didn't want to work 80 hours a week anymore. I didn't want to work 90 hours a week. You know, there's only so many of those you've got in you.
Yeah. Me and Beric both agreed that when we had kids, we started working more and wanting to work more.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. That's why we started this podcast. I've told my missus we've got like 5 on tonight. But we just try and drag it out as long as we can.
Yeah, I've never worked so many hours in my life.
That's crazy. Yeah, speaking of
I don't even drive to work anymore. I walk.
Mate, are you looking for work at the moment, Tim? I've got a position.
Oh, do you?
My place, yeah, Val.
I've actually got all that I can handle at the moment. I said that I didn't want to work 80 hours a week anymore, but I find across 3 venues, there's just
you can quit Rascals and the Prince.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
So what have you got going?
I just work. Yeah, you can do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sweet.
The deep fry spot's available, isn't it?
No, that's taken.
Oh.
Yeah, my spot. Yeah. We'll do straight up switch.
Do a switch, okay. Yeah.
Have you ever dreamed of, speaking of Beric's offer, working in a shit restaurant? Like just no stress, no expectations.
No customers. Yeah.
Well, look, it was a big shift to go into. Well, Ty and I were looking at opening a restaurant together, and then we looked at a couple of venues. We weighed up. I think, I had a young child at home, and he was like, oh, "Fuck it, let's open a burger place." I was like, I like burgers. Had no idea what we were doing. Absolutely no idea. And then it was busy from day one. Luckily,
Sorry now. Were you a little thrown back? Because obviously you're a very, very skilled chef. Had you ever thought of a burger joint?
No, never. Honestly, never. And I know I was actually a little bit cynical about it.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
And it was like, I know other chefs who have done the same thing. Like, a guy who I really look up to, Justin North, Warren Turnbull. There's some sort of big boy chefs in Sydney who also open burger places.
Yep.
And I was a little bit like, do I want to be that guy? And I was talking to another chef in Melbourne actually, who's got a place called Leonard's House of Love, and he was a head chef, and he got really bagged out by a lot of the hipster crowd in Melbourne that said he'd sold out. So I can't believe you guys have sold out and opened a burger joint. It's like, well, and I had when I moved back to and we moved back to Newcastle and opened up Rascals. I was doing some stuff up in Noosa. I've been to a couple of functions and done some charity dinners and stuff where guys would come up and go, I think it's such a shame what's happened. Closed Bacchus and you cook burgers now. It's like, man, if you only came in once a year on your birthday, if you could, it was very, very tough to run a massive restaurant, a massive fine dining restaurant. Like, I loved it. It was so good. Like,
it's amazing. It's an amazing space too.
It's a great space. I love it. It was such a big part of my life, and I really don't regret any part of it. But just to say that, it's like, it's all very well from the outside, but if you've got to pay a mortgage or have a life or invest your whole being.
They don't realise how much money you can lose and still be busy. We had a Mexican place on Derby and Beaumont Street. And when we eventually closed that down, so many people were like, I can't believe you did that. How could you do that? It's like, well, you could have come more.
Yeah, that's right. Do you want to see the bills?
At one stage we were losing $4,000 a week.
Yeah, and people just do not understand hospitality in that regard.
No. From
the outside, that's why you get so many people going, in my retirement, I'm going to open a cafe or I'm going to open a restaurant because I like to go to cafes and restaurants. When you've got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to open your cafe, suddenly retirement doesn't become that much fun. And it's very, very hard to, as you guys all know, like it's very hard to make money in the hospitality industry at the moment.
Food especially.
Even pre-COVID.
Massively, yeah. But with fine dining, you're making like 100 people happy, or maybe 80 people happy a night. Now a day, you make like, if you do a big day, you might make 400 or 500 people happy. On a big day at Rascal, you can do 600 people, like easy. And then the pub, pre-COVID, hundreds of people were going through through the prints. We were hitting our straps, and it was going really well. I can't complain. It still is. Like a lot of people in hospitality, really struggling. And
I drive past yours every night, and there's a line.
Yeah. Well, we were saying before, like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday, there's a lineup. The other thing is, I suppose there's been so little sport on. Everyone's really into the footy this year. So if there's people are going to watch non-nights games, people are really into it, and you get 163 people in, and we're full. Yeah, it's a huge space. So
you're lucky you still get so many in. It is a big space. Because I know Miles actually.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I got to message him
it's
actually.
His birthday today.
Is it? Yeah, he's got 10 days off, does he?
Yeah, he's off all this week.
Yeah, I got to message him about the boxing tomorrow night.
Yeah.
He said he's going to come here and watch it instead of some other place that's showing it. Although this won't air. This will air after the boxing.
Yeah. So I don't think he's going to. I don't think he'd come in to watch it at work. Yeah. I think he's going to stay away for the week.
Yeah, fair call. Because he seems to be there a lot. He's a good operator.
He's a really good operator. He's a good bloke.
Yeah. I met him when he was at the Northern.
Very lucky to have him on board. Actually, he's good.
Yeah, I was spewing. He messaged me for a job, and I had only just given a job to this piece of shit named Lewis. And I said, sorry, bro, I just hired a bloke. And I was kicking myself. I said, I can't just get rid of Lewis. And Miles said, yeah, no dramas. He ended up getting a job at the Prince. A few weeks later, Lewis said, I'm going to the family hotel.
Oh, no,
I said, what do you mean? I only just gave you a job. He said, yeah, but I was only doing it until I got to the family.
Oh,
I was
Only
like,
doing it till I got a real job.
yeah, a real job. But
wow.
That's
yeah,
a
I
big
was
thing
like,
in
I
hospitality
was like,
too,
fuck
isn't
you,
it?
Lewis.
That's
And yeah, I was like, wow. Miles was heaps better than Lewis at everything.
Are you hoping that Lewis is watching this?
Yeah, he always breaks
It
it.
seems like you're sending a very subtle
Yeah.
message.
Nah, actually, we terrorise each other a little bit. Lewis is actually a good guy, but yeah, he did. He was like, I was just waiting for a job at the family. I was like, that'll fucking teach me.
Are you a bit of a clean freak in the kitchen, being from old school?
You sort of have to
Look,
say
I'm
yes.
getting yeah, but like you got to understand, like I was an art student. I had dreadlocks down to my ass for many years, and
Yeah, right.
was a arty farty creative type.
So you get someone else to make sure everything's clean.
No, but I mentioned before my wife's a doctor, and I think years of she's an anaesthetist. She's very controlled.
Is she really?
Yeah.
What are you cooking for or doing anything for? Should be sitting. Yeah.
Would you be happy doing? Come on, you gotta. I think
My missus is a pharmacist.
I'd
so
hate to not contribute to life.
I wouldn't. I'd be. That's when you've made it. You're done. Yeah. Stay at home, Dad. That's it. Yeah. Cook at
I
home.
tried
and
my
that's
hand at
it.
being a stay-at-home dad actually for about 6 months before we opened Rascal, and it was
Did you have a child
was-
at the time?
just. But it's actually so hard. Like it was really rewarding.
Yeah, I
It's
couldn't do
amazing,
it.
but it's fucking hard.
Yeah, hats off to him. Any
100%.
mother or father that does it, because yeah,
100%. It's like
it's a long day.
It's unrelenting. Like everyone goes on about how hospitality is hard, and I'm complaining here about 80-hour weeks and that kind of thing. Parenthood is unrelenting,
Yeah, definitely.
thankless and unrelenting.
Yeah,
But
I'm
it-
surprised.
But it's such a
so many get through it, to be honest. Like, after doing it for 24 hours,
Yeah.
I'm just like, how are so many people I know doing this?
yeah.
Um,
It's amazing. It's so rewarding. It's the best thing
Yeah.
ever. But yeah, it's not easy.
Who was your favourite author?
Jesus.
He's
my
a good
favourite
author. The Bible was great.
He didn't write it.
Well, my daughter's called Elliot, Eliot. It's fucking hipster, isn't it, to have a girl with a boy's name? But T.S. Eliot was my favourite writer.
You mean C.S. Lewis?
No, T.S. Eliot. He
T.S.
was a
Eliot.
poet. Yeah, he wrote a lot of dark and brooding sort of poetry. Was a very interesting and somewhat tormented fellow, but really clever.
I thought you were going to, for some reason, I thought you'd say Bukowski.
I'm a big of a fan of Bukowski.
Yeah.
I also like all the beat poets, Jack Kerouac, Allen Ginsberg. If You're in Loathing in Las Vegas is also a pretty entertaining sort of read. But Bukowski's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I love that. Like the whole
you should read his books. They're really funny.
yeah.
But
It's just the
they're-
barfly sort of.
He reminds me of Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah. It's
Um,
a similar similar style, really gritty, no holds barred, a bit dirty and grimy.
yeah, he's like basically a nympho, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, the
And-
characters.
and a massive drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. I think the first book I read was The Postman, or what's it called?
Yeah.
Or something. I can't even remember. I still got it at home. But yeah, that was the first one I read of his.
What about Bono? Bono's a big.
Are you talking about Bono from U2?
Yeah.
Is he an inspiration?
No. Have you been getting intel from somewhere? Have you been talking to people?
Like,
I
haven't been talking.
have an absolute fucking passionate hate for Bono.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you've uncovered something.
Let me
You've
just ask you
stirred
something. Let me just ask you
Who
something.
have you been
Let
talking
me just
to?
ask you something, right? So
Don't get me wrong.
you two. So you two. Do you think you two called themselves you two because every time you say to someone "I love you," they say "I love you too"?
I've never even thought about that, but
Do-
just the man himself just makes me violent with rage. If I saw him walking through the airport, I'd probably try. And
Have you seen the South Park episode about him?
Yeah.
Emmy award-winning episode, wasn't it?
Was it Emmy Award?
Yeah, they'll say yeah when he's
Yeah, I think it was actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just, I don't know why he aggravates me so much. but
maybe
he really
because
does.
he put his album on your phone.
Yeah,
without
like,
asking.
if I'm sitting in my car and if it goes on random play, suddenly these fucking trite U2 songs are popping up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but like I said, look, I've never listened to a U2 album. They've probably got about 5 or 6 songs that are really great, but he's just an absolute fuckwit. I don't know why he brings out the worst in me. I'm not
Yeah, I never got into them.
Well, I'm glad I touched on him.
Are you a fan, Damien? No. Or did you just have that funny joke about the "I love you too" thing? So you tried to weed it into the conversation.
I've been trying to weed it in.
Setting himself up.
Wait up. I'll see you what else I've got on my phone to weed in. Wait up. Here it is. Hey Tim, did you know every time you clean something else gets dirty?
Oh, so was this the segue before?
That was the segue before, and then we went off.
I completely went off track. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Every time you clean something, it gets dirty again.
Something else gets dirty.
Something else gets dirty. I hadn't noticed, but
Yeah, sweet. Maybe we should go to the 10 questions.
was that it?
What? Where's the rest of your joke?
So there's no joke. Every time you clean something else gets dirty.
Like your rag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh right. So it wasn't.
That's like that thing. What gets wet as it dries?
What?
A towel.
Oh, yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
You don't get it.
Sorry, I just kicked the camera.
That's all right.
Do you guys edit?
Want to get high?
Do you edit everything, or you just rolls?
Not really. No.
Just rolls, okay.
No, we don't. We've only edited one, and that's a chick thought her answer to question number 11 was really stupid and begged me to edit it. I won't say who.
Probably should edit out the cooking my own blood into a sausage. It's probably a bit weird.
Oh, we can't.
I'm joking. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm really shit at editing. It takes me so long. Let's say something really
I wish
bad.
we had someone better.
What's the 10 questions all about?
I steal them off a show that also stole them off some philosopher or something like that. I can't remember his name. Bernard, by French television personality Bernard Pivot, started it. So we ask everyone these questions. They're meant to be 10 questions.
Okay.
How you get to know a person. So we finish up with asking everyone. Oh, we've got 11 because Damien throws in a number 11 at the end of them, which is a real thigh slapper. So number 1, Timothy, what is your favourite word?
My favourite word? That's something I've actually never ever thought about.
These get deep.
There are so many though. Like, how can you? And you don't want to just pick something. Can we come back to number 1?
Yep, definitely. Number 2, what is your least favourite word? This is legit.
My least favourite word.
That should be a bit easier.
My least favourite word. There's one I probably shouldn't say. Moist.
Moist. That's been a few people's favourite word.
Oh really?
Yeah. Interesting. Moist. So you're one of those people that doesn't like moist?
Oh, there's a word that I hate worse probably, but I'm not gonna go into it. It'll sound weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, moist. I don't know. It's just a word that seems a little bit, I don't know, uncoordinated and weird.
Yeah. You only really hear it spoken of around one thing too.
Not necessarily. Yeah. In kitchen.
I hear it about bread, but bread's moist. But other than that, yeah. But yeah, that's been.
So that's a lot of people's
Get
favorite.
some moist bread.
That's a lot of
you
people's
gotta throw it
favorite
out 'cause
word.
it's moist. Now when you put it in the freezer and then you get it out and you fucking.
You used to do that all the time at Rascal, don't you? Just put the bread in the freezer. Get out some nice
freezer.
moist. Yeah.
Well, I don't have a big enough freezer.
Do a moist burger. I think a burger of the week. Number 3, what turns you on in any way, shape, or form?
I think passion. Like if people are driven or passionate or overly motivated by something, I find it infectious. Like, that can if you find someone who's exceedingly driven about a particular topic, I find that infectious, and
It is, isn't it?
yeah, it's exciting.
Have to agree. Number 4, what turns you off?
Falsity. If people aren't true, or if people maybe I got it on the mind because my kid lied to me for the first time this morning.
What do you lie about?
She didn't brush her teeth this morning.
Right.
And she looks at me and I was like, she's only 5. But she was, I said, did you brush your teeth? And then I walked into the
Did you
bathroom.
make her breathe on you or did you check?
No, I was in the, obviously, I'm not overly suspicious. I try not to be suspicious. You want to give your kid the benefit of the doubt. But I happened to be in the bathroom. I'm like, on the toothbrush is dry and it's where it was before, and so is the toothpaste. And I said, and a little step stool that she uses wasn't anywhere near the sink.
Rookie
I
mistake.
I was like, come on, I don't want to be Columbo here, but like, you put the pieces together, you're lying to me. And she said, actually, I just did it without wetting it. I was like, you're lying to me again now, you're making it worse. But yeah, so in answer to the question, yeah, anything that's like fake or misleading or you know, I think it's unnecessary and it's aggravating.
When we were kids, we used to brush our teeth and then we'd all have to come and breathe on Dad. Be like, show me your breath. And I'd develop this racket where I'd just go to my room and have a minty. And my brother and sister would brush their teeth and then we'd walk out and they'd be like, Mark didn't do it. And I'd breathe and he'd be like, no, he did it. It would drive them insane.
Maybe you should talk to Tim's daughter.
Yeah, I'll give her some tips.
Jokes on you now, I've got no teeth.
Yeah, I'm going to the dentist Thursday, so I'm dreading that. That's unrelated. I did start brushing
Walk
my
in with a
teeth.
pocket of mints.
I swear I have minties in the morning and night.
I knew you like the dentist that way.
Yeah, but if any kids are watching, which they shouldn't be,
Minties.
but you're obviously a bit more savvy. My dad didn't check the brush or anything else.
Yeah, I wasn't looking for it. It just,
Yeah.
I just noticed. And I was like,
yeah.
hang on, this doesn't add up.
Yeah. Very cool.
Disappointing.
What sound or noise do you love?
Sound or noise do I love?
Sound of a deep fryer going off?
This is going to sound weird, but ever since I moved to Newcastle, there's certain parts of the place where you can hear bellbirds. You know what a bellbird sounds like?
No.
They sound amazing. No, it's just like, it sounds like, it definitely doesn't sound like that. If you Google it, whatever, like it's just this, like, you would have heard it around the place. Like if you're around Glenrock or somewhere, or Adamstown Golf Course, wherever. Not that I play golf, I just live in Adamstown. I live near Adamstown.
Yes, perfect. Yeah,
Bellbird.
He lives near the bellbirds.
So just follow the sound of the bellbird.
Yeah,
and
perfect.
you might be able to get there.
Right.
The sound of a bellbird is a very unique and beautiful thing.
So if we Google it, we still won't be able to hear it. We'll just have to read what it sounds like.
I'm sure with the current technology in 2020, there'll probably be a soundbite.
Do you want to get that up while I do the next one? If there is such technology. What sound or noise do you hate?
I do get triggered by timers going off in the kitchen. I get triggered. I think it's just years of hearing them, but I don't think that's probably my least favourite sound. It's up there. I don't know. I should have prepared better for these questions.
No one watches these things, you're right.
I do. I watch them, but I skim and I'm doing other things. And
Yeah.
Wait till we talk about Rascal.
Yeah, I heard all the Rascals stuff with Mark Mitchell, and I was like, after that, I was like, oh yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
Least favorite sound. Yeah, I'm gonna go with timer. And if I think of anything else, I'll come back to it.
Fair enough.
I'm still trying to think of my favorite word. There. If you hear it when you're out in nature, it's the most peaceful, beautiful thing.
So that's a bellbird.
That's a bellbird.
I do hear that.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a bird. You learned something.
Yeah.
I knew it was a bird. I didn't know it was a bellbird.
I thought it was some bloke.
It's like, who is that fuckwit?
Sitting in a tree with a triangle.
Yeah. Number 7. People that work for you can probably tell us this one. What is your favourite curse word?
Oh God, there are so many. No, I'm pretty fond. Like a serious curse word. I use the word jerk, like it's going out of fashion, but that's not really a curse word. I can't answer it honestly. I'm sorry.
Can you give us a letter it starts with?
Look, it's an unpopular thing. I used to work with a lot of French guys, and the go-to thing is they say "putain, putain la merde," like which kind of means slut. And although it's a very unpopular word, it comes out of my mouth sometimes, and I don't know why.
Can you say it in French?
No.
Oh, you say slut.
But I'm not talking about.
Yeah,
like,
no.
I'm not being misogynistic or derogatory to it. Like that's the furthest thing from my mind. The word comes out, and my wife's like, "You've got a daughter. What are you saying that word for?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know. It just gets in there sometimes."
Yeah.
And I have trouble controlling. I'm not proud of it. I'm a little bit ashamed of it, but it is the go-to word in my subconscious for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Fair enough. No judgment here.
No judgment.
Number 8. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
What profession other than my own would I like to attempt? I'm rubbish at like anything handy. I should probably try my hand at something carpentry or something I can do stuff around the house because I'm useless.
Yeah.
But like, what would I seriously attempt? Maybe one day I'd like to try my hand at riding.
Yeah.
Go back to
What would you ride? Bulls, horses?
Well, you kept a straight face as well. That's really good.
Yeah, well done.
I'm not sure. I couldn't ride anything. I'm 130 kilos.
You could get ridden.
I could get ridden, actually. There's probably a market for that.
Come ride Tim at Rascals.
Yeah. I've been told that I'm a bit of a bear, so...
Good thing about writing is you can do it at any age.
Yeah.
Sort of like about art and writing and all that kind of stuff. You could start at 50,
exactly
60,
like
whatever.
Anthony Bourdain, I think he started in his late 40s.
Yeah, right.
And he was...
Lots of conspiracies floating around about that dude at the moment.
I've heard a few of them about he was going to expose pedophiles and all that kind of thing. And look, the way the things have happened in the past 6 months to a year.
You can't take anything off the table, can you?
Nothing. You take nothing for granted, really. So it's very tragic what happened to him. He seemed like an amazing guy.
Yeah, I've heard that.
His writing was cool, and he was inspiration to a lot of people. So yeah, I mean, look, if he's an example, I mean, he was worked as a chef, did the hard yards, battled with demons, all that kind of thing, and had this amazing career. So yeah, it is inspirational, and maybe one day if I can find the time or inclination, get myself
stay off the horses and bulls. Still there.
Stay off the horses and bulls.
Yeah.
And, maybe stay out of the pub for a while.
Yeah, that's hard. Number 9. What profession would you not like to do?
I'd probably not like to be a school teacher at the moment. My brother's a school teacher in Mount Druitt at the moment.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and he's got some horror stories. Other than that, or anything to do. I think an unpopular comment considering my mother and a lot of my family are school teachers.
Yeah,
but
my mum's a teacher.
It's such a hard job, and
it is, especially now. There's so much scrutiny.
Such an important job.
And like back in the day, we'd get a smack over the head and stuff. Can you imagine a teacher now?
No.
The kid on the back of the head.
I've actually got a school teacher mate of mine. He's working in the kitchen with me, washing dishes.
Oh, really?
And he works in...
Kids come in and laugh at him.
Yeah, he works at the Junction at primary school. And they come in 100%. And the mothers would be like, oh, look at this guy. He's just, just scrubbing dishes to make ends meet and that. But he just likes the kitchen, you know what I mean?
Yeah, wow.
Because he just had his second kid.
Yeah, he just had his second
There
kid.
is a unique
So he wants to get away as well.
To get away. No, but he's doing a good... Yeah, he comes in.
Unique buzz in the kitchen. A lot of people come into the kitchen environment and really get off on that whole camaraderie, fast-paced sort of stress thing.
He runs the past like a legend because he's, you know what I mean? He's just reading.
Yeah.
It's like you do at school. It's just like black and white. Bang, bang, bang. This is what happens. This is what I need.
Yeah, right. That's cool.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. Yeah.
But no, my brother's got like hella horror stories from Mount Druitt at the moment. It's bad.
Yeah, I know a lady on stress leave at the moment, and I couldn't do it. Hats off to her.
Yeah.
Number 10, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Come in. I don't know. That's a very deep philosophical question once again. I never expected us to get this deep, smart.
Check on. No.
That's the last thing I want to hear. That's the last thing I want to hear.
Table 16's away. Yeah.
Is that chef lingo? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, you'd like to be welcomed, wouldn't you? You'd like to.
Oh, well, some people say,
You guys don't seem particularly religious. Are you guys religious?
I was brought up Catholic.
Same. Do you do it?
No.
Same.
This is as close to Catholicism as I get now. I was asking this question once a week.
Yeah, it's one of those things like we're the same. Like we've got our kid baptised, but not really. We don't go to church or anything like that.
No, I think At the moment, I think they're their own worst enemy.
I had it beaten out of me in Catholic school, man. I was still on the cusp. Being a little bit older, I was on the cusp of that whole, corporal punishment sort of thing, where you still get your ear twisted or smacked with a shoe or
ruler over the hands for drawing on the desk.
I got a little cricket bat broken over my ass.
Really?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, I had this guy. Is that
recently?
Yeah, just for pleasure. No, I was was at this school in Adelaide, and it was Catholic. It was Jesuit, and there was this guy. He called it Harden's harasser. His name was Mr. Harden, and he used to it was this one of those miniature cricket bats. Yeah. And he used to if your shirt was untied or you didn't do your maths homework, he'd bring you up the front of the class and he'd bend over and he'd slap you on the arse. Wow. And I used to get it so many times.
You're not that much older than me. That's pretty scary.
No, so he got. And my mum was working in the Catholic education system, and I was I don't think you guys can do this. Hey. Anyway, so I used to get it that many times that, and this is also aging myself, in the time of chalkboards. So he'd get the chalk duster, and he'd put it along the thing. So he'd hit me with it and leave a chalk mark, so he could aim for the same spot.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a fucking sadist.
So he'd make a game out of it.
Yeah, so I was.
What a sick fuck.
Years later, I was doing a cooking demo at a like a purveyor in Adelaide. Like a lot of wealthy people come in and do like a cooking class with truffles or whatever it is. And I was up the front of the class and I see him walk into the store.
You're kidding.
Old man. And I just got this like visceral rage in me. I just wanted to run over and
should have poisoned him. Kick him in the ass at the very least.
At the very least.
So. Adelaide's a big cricketing state, though.
Yeah, it is a big cricketing state.
So he gets a pass then, does he?
Yeah.
In New South Wales, they just kick a footy at you.
Yeah, I suppose could get jumped.
Just bend over there.
Anyway, question number 11. Is it possible, Tim, do you think it's possible to be related to yourself? And if so, how?
To be related to yourself?
Yeah, and if so, how?
What do you mean, physically related to yourself?
Yeah, just in any way.
Is this a gag? Or is there
No, seriously, yeah.
Well, physically, no. I don't think you could be related to yourself.
And why is that?
Because it's an impossibility, isn't it? Like, surely it's an impossibility. How could you be related to yourself?
Yeah, asking you.
I'm not a scientist, but I don't think even with the developments in technology these days, you could actually physically be related to yourself. Even in Tasmania.
Oh, zing.
Bang.
Sorry, Tassie.
Sorry.
Luckily, the borders are closed.
Sorry, I should have gone for the low-hanging fruit there. That was bad. No, I'll take that back. So I've actually never been to Tasmania.
So you could be related to yourself in Tassie, you reckon?
I don't know. Look, every place that I know of has a place that they say that about. So, if you live in London, everyone's like, oh, the people up in Yorkshire have got two heads and this and that. Or, you live in Newcastle and say it about Maitland, or I don't know.
I've never heard that said about Maitland.
No, never.
No.
I was just, I was supposing. So yeah, it was low hanging fruit, and I do take it back. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
That's a good. Fuck Tasmania.
Yeah, fuck Tasmania. Big time.
No one from Tasmania.
I don't even think they have the internet.
Do they have a population?
They don't have the internet.
No.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to see this.
If they do, what are they going to do about it? Anyone from Tassie?
New South Wales borders are closed. Yeah. Lady actually just got 6 months jail in Western Australia.
I saw that.
Yeah, for sneaking in.
Sneaking in.
Yeah. So be thinking about it, Tasmanians. 6 months.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the way things are at the moment, I'd be staying in Tasmania, away from all the madness.
Yeah, true. They're pretty safe over there, aren't they?
Yeah.
I don't even think they know what COVID is.
No, that's right.
Just cruising.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's pretty much the show. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
That was super easy. I thought it was going to be. I didn't think it was going to be so in depth, but I didn't.
So we'd have a chalkboard out with math and cricket bats smacking you in the ass if you got them wrong.
With my shirt untucked.
It's pretty chilled.
That was good.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on.
It's a pleasure.
And people in Newey, if you're looking for the best burger in town, check out the Crown and Anchor Hotel. If we're closed, then go to Rascals.
What about Little Castro?
Who?
We also do a pretty good burger at the Prince.
Yeah, Prince is really good too. So yeah, I think they're probably the only places.
Prince twice.
Yeah, that's back when it was shit.
Ouch.
Yeah, I think you said the owner broke.
Yeah, I did.
Davey's name was, yeah.
Dave.
Yeah.
Peanut,
I don't know. I didn't know him.
It's a different place now. It's
actually, I started $4 cruises, $4 Coronas on Sundays. So
that was
Like
massive.
I said, you said him broke.
When I first moved to Newcastle, that was like hectic. The place was like standing room only.
that's right.
Yeah.
It was pretty gross.
Well. Before I forget, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Fubu. For all your latest 90s streetwear, go to fubu.com.
Do they still make?
Yes, they do. This is a 25-year anniversary hat that they sent us. Sent us some shirts as well. Barry forgot to wear his. You said you forgot,
Yeah, I'll
right?
wear it next week.
Yeah, definitely.
COVID, man.
And yeah, it's best 90s streetwear there is. So thank you for that, and that's a wrap.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Brady.